Happy New Year, Divi Nation! This is the first This Week in WordPress live stream of 2018. I've already had to change the end card a couple of times to say 2017 instead of 2017 to 2018. So we are now, instead of doing This Week in WordPress, I suppose it's This Year in WordPress, even though it's only been 5 days. Since it's been a couple of weeks since we've done this, I will be going over the news, resources, and tutorials that have been published really over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Most of them are from this week because after the holidays, people really hit the internet with a vengeance, and there will probably be a couple from before. So if you want, we will get this party started. All right, guys. So I hope everybody is having an absolutely wonderful new year. Just wanted to say hi. Just saw somebody in the comments, which is where I was actually going next, asking questions about how much is the Divi theme. You can go to elegantthemes.com/Divi, and there's a whole pricing page with all of our different membership options. Also, I would like to invite everybody here to talk, to say hello in Facebook or YouTube comments. I'm keeping an eye on all of those so that we can really have a conversation back and forth. So if you're not already a member of Elegant Themes, make sure that you head over to elegantthemes.com/Divi, like I said before, or /join, and you will be able to hear... So you'll be able to become a member. Since we have things in the comments, and this is a very social show, let me know what you've been working on this week in WordPress, so that we can talk to everybody and see what everything is going on in your world. And my week in WordPress has been absolutely fantastic. I found a wonderful Divi child theme by Flux Design Studios called Fit that I've been working on for a side project. I absolutely love the community and Divi Nation putting together all of these different child themes and layouts where they're just beautiful and brilliant. So you guys keep up the good work out there, and remember, we always do showcases and things like that, so keep an eye out for those submission posts. So we are looking, Muhammad, at different dividers, and YouTube comments said that he would hope to see new dividers soon. We're looking at making different section dividers right now. And Jacob, I don't know about the testimonial section. That's the dev team, but we will certainly pay attention to what's going on because I'm content team, not dev. And Amy in Facebook just asked if we ever do a show where we review websites. We were talking about that this week, actually. Nathan is looking at a way that would be able to do that. So hopefully we'll be able to have that for you soon. We think it would be a fantastic idea as well. So moving on, I want to get into the news this week. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. It is after the holidays. Things haven't really been that busy because we've all probably been off for the last week or two, maybe, depending. And the one thing I did want to start off with was the WP Weekly podcast had their episode 300, and they interviewed Matt Mullenweg. They talk about a lot of stuff that was happening over the last month involving Gutenberg, his Gutenbeard, and the poetry that happened at the State of the Word at WordCamp 2017 in Nashville, Tennessee, where there was a bit of language used that people weren't exactly happy with. So they discuss all of that stuff. There is a link in the description, as is there for everything that I talk about today and that we talk about, so that we can follow along and read the same stuff. So you should definitely go check out the WP Tavern post about the Matt Mullenweg interview. Sorry. Let me see. There's been a couple of comments. Full width slider. We just put in a Divi update, which I'll get to later, that scales for phones and tablets. I'm not sure how the full-width slider works for that one, Tim, but you might want to check it out because I know that that was something that happened this week. So since that was in the news, I'll actually go ahead and touch on that. It's the if you go and update Divi right now, if you go update the Divi Builder or Extra or the Divi theme, you'll see that our newest update is you'll see that our newest update is mobile responsiveness a lot more, and that's on the builder side, yes, but it makes it so that we can actually update our websites a lot better on our phones, on our tablets, and things like that. So hopefully that will make it easier on you and more likely to go use the mobile content to do that. And this is one that came for me that is a much needed change, because using this myself, I've been limited to having my laptop here or my desktop where I would be able to do something, and now I can actually just get on my Note 8, which is fantastic for doing most things already, and now I can actually work on the front end of my sites. Between the let me think, how was I going with that? I saw a comment and got distracted because it was shiny. So between the wonderful pen and other production, like productivity stuff that I use, being able to do it on my phone is actually pretty nice. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. So go update. It's super cool. And on top of that, we updated to React 16 before the holidays, and it should be a much faster Visual Builder experience, and brought the wireframe into the wireframe mode for Visual Builder as a click in the lower left corner. So you guys should check that out if you're not using the Visual Builder. And someone had a comment on YouTube that asked, it's a strange question, but can someone build a Divi theme using the current drag and drop point and click system and turn around and sell it as a premium theme? You can sell that as a child theme or Divi layout. We have people who do that all the time within the Divi Nation. Jacob, you'll be able to look at places like Divi Space and say a girl and her Mac to see how some other people do that. But yeah, absolutely, go right ahead. I bought one myself this week that I was mentioning earlier. So please go right ahead. Make use of your talents and spread it with the world. So going forward in the news, WP Dev, which is absolutely one of my favorite sites on in the WordPress sphere, ends up talking about these web design trends that are coming this year. And I put this in news because it was something that really stuck out to me, because it's early on. It is absolutely something that we need to keep in mind from right now, because we're working on all of our designs. We're working on selling our Divi themes, and we want to start the new year off. So I want to point out that they're talking about a lot of adventurous color palettes. I mean, I am all about bright colors, so I'm glad that this is coming into play. They talk about rule-breaking typography, and again, I love things that look different, and I think that they are right on track when they're talking about subtle animations. We have some stuff on our website on the Elegant Themes blog that you can see on how to add subtle elements to CSS and with SVGs, and so you'll want to look at that. And then they talk about push notifications, and this is the news that I wanted to talk about. Them talking about design being part of push notifications. We have recently put that on the Elegant Themes site for you guys to get updates, and it is working wonderfully. You guys are awesome. I want to let you know that if you've been thinking about doing it for your own site, do it. Do it now. It has wonderful ROI, and the engagement that you get most likely is going to be higher than an email list. I've seen a lot of people talking about how they've been getting easily 10% of 10 times more than they've gotten on their email list. So if you get 1% on your email list, they've gotten about 10% clicks. I mean, we're seeing a lot as well. So when you guys, if you're thinking about doing push notifications, really consider it, because this is the time of year to start that. Just get everything going as you're planning out the design and development elements of your site over the next little while. And Jacob in YouTube asked how to get a Divi shirt. I was lucky enough to get this because I work here, but you can get them at the Divi Nation meetups, that you can go to meetup.com/Divi Nation, and you'll be able to see where any of the official Divi Nation meetups are, if they're near you, or what you can do to get one started. So check that out on Meetup. Usually they're, as far as I know, that's where they come from. That's what I've been told in the past when I wanted one before I worked here. So check that out as well. The meetups are great. Like, you guys as a community are friggin-tastic people. So moving forward in the news, I thought this was cool. I thought it was funny. And like I said, there wasn't a lot of specific news that was going on. I mean, it's just you coming back from the new year here, from the holidays. But Torque posted, torquemag.io, fantastic place, I love it too, has a thing called Torque Tunes that they do, and they talk about WordPress a bunch. So this one was New Year's WordPress resolutions, and it was pretty funny to me, because it was learn JavaScript seriously this time. Don't test on live sites, which I may have been guilty of doing for a client recently. Not saying that I was doing that, but I might have. And please don't do it. Please don't do it. Return the Ring to Mordor, which is on my to-do list. Keeping my plugins up to date, which I get WordFence emails every day about that stuff on different sites. And then E was their latest resolution is 1920 by 1080, which made me laugh so hard, because I love terrible puns. So I wanted to tell the people at Torque Mag, thank you for that. And also, since I've been actually working on making all of the websites that I've built work mainly at 1920 by 1080 as being the native resolution for desktop, it just made me giggle, and it was close. So if you've got any New Year's resolutions or WordPress resolutions this year, 1920 by 1080 should be one of them. See, I'm nerd giggling here. For those of you who are just tuning in, who are new to the show, who are maybe new to Divi, maybe new to WordPress, this is the This Week in WordPress live stream. Every week at 3 p.m. Eastern, I go live and talk about the stuff that was published that week. I put together news and tutorials and resources that I think that you guys, as the Divi Nation, as a WordPress community, can get some sort of value out of. It's a Friday afternoon. We can all take it easy. Hopefully you're able to just kind of chill and maybe listen to this at work. And all of these resources that I talk about, and ones that I'm not going to have a chance to get to, are in the description of this video. So make sure that you scroll down, check that out, and give a little bit of love to the people who are putting this wonderful content out there. I had a couple of questions in the YouTube comments. Issues using auto-optimized WP plugin in Divi. All the animations, such as circle counter, will disappear before or become non-responsive. I have no idea, Jacob. I know nothing about the auto-optimize. Somebody in the comments might, so hopefully someone will be able to help you out with that, who is not me, because I've never used it and had that issue. And Charlotte asked about finding a square button. Do you mean within the within Divi itself? Or what do you mean? Oh, cool. Somebody added it. Answered it right as I said that. That's awesome. So thank you, guys. I love you guys. Y'all are so awesome. So keep it. Also, if you've got anything, like I said earlier, before I move into the tutorials, if you have anything you're working on this week in WordPress that you want to share, questions, please shoot them at me, shoot them at other people, and see if anybody can help, make your life a little bit easier. So in the tutorials, I think that the first one that is really worth mentioning is a WPMU Dev article that it talks about what should happen when you inherit a WordPress site and why. Oh my goodness, you guys, this can be such a headache. I've seen sites where they are just a nightmare. I've heard all of the nightmares, all the horror stories from people who have inherited sites. I inherited one once where somebody had used WordPress as a dashboard, but then cleared out all the PHP files and wrote everything individually as HTML and PHP files instead of including the menus as unordered lists. You're going to get stuff like that. You're going to have it where people, where you're going to see stuff that you don't understand or why. And WPMU Dev goes through the steps of what you should do. It's great. They 15 things you should do. I mean, get to school. When was it built? What are the future goals? What was it for? You get all the brand materials. You don't want to ask. You don't want to have to ask over and over again for pings and transparencies and SVGs and access to all of the web control panels over and over again. Get access to everything all at once. You're going to want to change all the user access if it matters, the hosting plan, all this stuff. They walk you through everything that you need to get done for the for inheriting a new WordPress site. Like it's a lot of work, and sometimes you just need a checklist because it can be so overwhelming. And JK Dove asked me, Raffle say what? It was like, yes, they had individual menus on every page that were unordered lists instead of using the WordPress menus. They had deleted all the functions for that out. The footer was in the what was it? There was the site-wide footer that was put in the contact.php that they had written themselves. Like it was good stuff. So you're going to inherit stuff like that. And so this article really will let you work through some of that stuff a little bit easier. And yeah, it's crazy, JK. It is nuts. It's funny though. Now I can laugh about it. It's good stuff. Now. They talk a lot. There's another article that they've published about internal link building, and I didn't realize really until I started working here at Elegant Themes how important internal link building is. This one is called Internal Link Building, why you need it, why you need to do it, and how to get started. The one I was talking about before is what should happen when you inherit a WordPress site and why. That is the first one under tutorials in the description of this video. Sorry, I wasn't clear on that. So when I started working here, I was started as content creator. I mean, that's what I do. Started putting blogs up, getting all of the links and everything using Yoast. And I knew that backlinks were super important. I knew that sending external links was super important. But I really didn't know that internal link building was as absolutely imperative as it is, that you're always going to want to link to your own content. And it is, I don't even know how to start on this one. I mean, it gets your visitors to stay longer more than anything else. I mean, it has a lot more links pointing back to you. They keep, navigation by getting a hierarchy of pages so that you know how all of your content links. And honestly, for me, it's one of those things where you have all of these resources on your site that you absolutely want people to know what you've done over the years. I linked today to an article. I was writing an article, and before I submitted it, I linked to an article that was 3 years old on the Elegant Theme site, but it was about how much we love storytelling. It was about how, as a company and as an industry, that storytelling is super important to us in making these connections. And I think that it's super important to be able to call back to that old content to really really reinvigorate it and to reinforce it with your audience, what you do and what you've done in the past. There was a comment on YouTube just now that it's about UX, which is user experience for those of you who don't tend to work in that, where it's the actual experience that your users have on your site. It reduces bounce rate and it satisfies the user intent query, which is absolutely true. It's just super important in every way. There's a whole list. I mean, there's a laundry list of them going down here. I'm still scrolling through. Just please check out the internal link building tutorial, and it will walk you through how to do it, what to do, and why. Like, that's the important part. It's the why, so that you fully understand it and it becomes second nature to you, which is exactly what I had to do here. Oh, excuse me. I talk so much that my mouth gets dry. There are a couple that I'm not going to go into that I just wanted to point out that are there. There's one called How to Onboard Contractors to Your WordPress Business. That one is really important if you run and have to outsource anything. Check it out. And then there's a great one that Torque did that I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to really say a lot about, but I think that you developers who are watching this really need to check this out, because it is about not following and why you shouldn't follow the WordPress coding standards. And this is going to be a very controversial topic for some people, especially for open source contributors, but they make a lot of good points given that WordPress is as old software as it is, and we still have some legacy code in there. So I want you guys to at least be aware of that, because it's a very important topic right now, with us moving into a lot of JavaScript on there and the PHP being upgraded on all of it, on all the servers, and having issues between versions. It's a good idea to look at why you shouldn't maybe follow the WordPress coding standards that the Codex sets forward. So check that out. Don't yell at people. Hi, Noel. I'm glad that you were able to make it. You're late, but you're here, and that's all that matters. At least I wasn't late, so that was the worst part. You guys, I used to be a teacher, and the worst part about it, like, I was the worst student in the world. Like, I came late to so many classes, didn't show up, that kind of thing. But I could not be late when I was the teacher anymore, and that was the worst part about teaching, is having to be there on time every single day. It was so I completely understand, Noel. I'm right there with you. I'd be late if I could. Not to this though. I love doing this. So there's an article that Code and WP did that I think is fantastic, because I've messed this up a dozen times myself, and it's called How to Install WordPress Themes and Plugins from GitHub. That this is the thing. You're not installing them from the repo. You're not installing them from a directory. It's talking about how to download them from GitHub manually and then upload them, because there is a good chance that if you've downloaded something from GitHub, and I say good chance because I've done this multiple times, on getting it wrong. I've installed these themes, and when I put it on, I just have the white screen of death. Like, everything is gone. It is absolutely a nightmare sometimes to do that. I say stuff's a nightmare a lot because it actually is. Like, you dream about this. Downloading from GitHub and getting installed really is the kind of thing that nerds just dream about at night. We wake up in cold sweats. So check that out if you've ever tried to install from GitHub for something that maybe isn't in the repo or a directory. So check that out. Super important. I've messed it up 100 times. Well, probably a dozen. Like, I can't say it's 100, but a dozen times at least, and I think that you guys will probably have some good luck with that one as well. Excuse me, 1 second. I was aware of the live one, just stumbled on it. We'll be there in full next time. That's great, Noel. We do a lot of live streams, and for those of you, this is a good time to go ahead and do the reset. For those of you who are just joining us, Noel and the others, this is the This Week in WordPress live stream. We do this every week at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we go through the news, resources, and tutorials that were published that week. We have a conversation, we share all of the stuff that we've been working on, and we really want to want to make sure that everyone has a wonderful Friday afternoon, gets to know each other, and get some help that they need. Just kind of chill. Every Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern, we do a new feature release walkthrough where we talk about all this stuff. Augustine Mack is doing all of those, so you can check that out if you're not in one of the U.S. time zones specifically. We have a lot of folks who check that out and love him doing that. And then on Tuesday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern, we do a use case scenario using our free layout pack to show you how to use it on a live site. So you guys who do use those, who want some real world examples of things that you can do with our layout packs that we give away every Monday, you can tune in on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern and see that. And all of these videos from all of our live streams are collected on the Facebook page and the YouTube page after they're live, so you can go back and check them out anytime that you want to. And Jason Gregory Lihu, I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. Jason in the YouTube comments mentioned that the intro music was way too loud compared to my voice, and I couldn't hear the intro music this time, so I'm terribly sorry. Please take my apologies, and I'll work on getting that down next time. And then checking in from snowy Boston and Saturday morning in Australia. Man, I'm jealous, John, in Australia on Facebook. I want it to be Saturday morning. That sounds awesome. And then in YouTube comments, JK has a code question. Ask away, JK, and if I can answer it, I will, and somebody in the comments probably will get to it before I can. But please, anytime y'all have something, please ask away. So moving on into the tutorial section of the This Week in WordPress live stream that you're listening to right now, let's see, I did that one, and I thought that Cats Who Code also had a wonderful one about finding the best keywords for a business blog. That this one's super hard. Like, I wanted to talk about this one specifically because it was such a large niche that that it's a very straightforward article, but it talks about finding those keywords that are probably oversaturated. It's something in business blogs. I mean, if you're blogging about blogging, those keywords are being massively saturated. If you're blogging about business and finance, those things can be really, really hard to find something new to talk about and to be able to rank for. So I really wanted to point that out just to be able to have an idea. And that one is called figuring out the best keywords for your business blog under tutorials. Happy birthday, Isam. Isam. Hopefully it's Isam. It's their birthday. I see in the YouTube comments. And you can get one of those shirts. I mentioned that a little bit earlier at the Divi Nation meetups is usually where you can get them. Find out where that is at meetup.com/Divi Nation. And whenever you see one of us at a WordCamp or something, there's a good chance we have a bag with them. So those are the ways that I know to get them. I would I would get you one if I could just hand it through the camera here. I would certainly do that. So moving a little bit forward, the Yoast posted a tutorial, and this one is super, super, super close to my heart on this one because I'm moving into different side projects right now, and I've been working on one for about 5 years now, and I'm transitioning it into something else because there was a sudden drop in traffic. All of a sudden, on my site that I've been running for years, I'd been averaging a certain amount of traffic, and then all of a sudden, about 3 months ago, it just dropped to about a third of what I've been getting consistently. And so this article on how to analyze a sudden drop in traffic was kind of serendipitous for me. I was looking at it. It was published a week ago, and it breaks down how to look at the drop in Google Analytics. It talks about how to check with your IT people to see if they've done something to do it. Zooming in on the traffic sources, the quality of visitors you have, algorithm shifts. It talks a lot about that kind of stuff as well. That was mentioned in the comments here, where It's crazy how many things can just happen. I tracked down what happened to mine through random luck, like pure dumb luck, and it had to do with someone else purchasing a domain that was similar to mine, that was more prominent with their domain, which has made me move out of my niche and into an adjacent one. So, which will still be fine. The content will still be pretty much exactly the same. So that's good for me, be able to move forward. But this article is the kind of thing that I'm now going to go back through and look through every step of this so that I can make sure that that's what I did, and so that I can actually check on it later and maintain, rankings for all of the content that I have. And we had a mention in the comments again that Hope will be there at WordCamp Europe, WCEU. We're talking about it, Noel. We have some staff members in Europe. We're not sure what the logistics are right now, but again, it's something that is being discussed among the content team, and we're not sure who may be going, but some people do have expressed interest. Just logistics. Y'all know how that is. So, but we've discussed it. I can't make any promises, but absolutely no clue. Had a question. Minifying and combining of Divi's JavaScript and CSS is a third feature. Is an awesome feature. The static CSS is great as well. Question is, should we avoid using a third-party solution if those are enabled? JK, I do. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I tend not to try everything I can not to break my sites. And I'm saying that we all do. I'm saying that. I'm not saying that you purposefully go out and like take a sledgehammer to your sites, but I try to avoid it, and I don't have any idea if you should. The main reason I avoid it is just things tend to mess up around me, and I take as few risks as I can. I have had them both on at the same time and didn't notice anything, but I noticed anything bad. I also didn't notice if there was anything good from it either. My numbers didn't seem to change milliseconds either way. So I do avoid third person. BJ doesn't talk about himself in third person. I do avoid third-party the minification like that, but that is completely a personal thing. Like, I have no idea if it is good or bad one way or the other. That was just mine, and testing it didn't really show, doing both didn't really show me good, bad one way or the other. So other people may have different different experiences than I did. So if anyone out there, check that out. Try that on yours, and please let us know if you've tried that. I would love to know myself, because again, I was experimenting that with this week when I was putting the new layouts in Divi Pack that I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream. So yeah. There's always somebody, like this is the teacher and me coming out again. There's always somebody in the room who has the same question as you do and just doesn't want to ask. So there really always is. And then going in on the last one where we were talking about the sudden drops in traffic, Torque also had a great article kind of piggybacking on Yost's on how to increase qualified traffic to your WordPress site. And it talks about stuff like blogging and building email lists and stuff, and optimizing site speed. And that's what this one's called, is 8 ways to increase qualified traffic to your WordPress site. But the one that I wanted specifically to call out was number 5 on their list. So, because if you guys aren't using videos, then you need to start using video. Eventually, oh my goodness, video is going to go absolutely crazy, y'all. And it already is. They have a link in here that, if I can see who actually published it, from Advanced Web Ranking, that they link to, that where a video increases purchase intent by 97%, it also increases your search rankings. That Google does prioritize posts that have embedded videos. So if you do any kind of video companions, you will rank higher, and it will show a thumbnail and preview of your video content. They're honestly just becoming more effective. They're also, I guess, becoming more infective because every website is getting them. I've started doing it too. I started a vlog yesterday. I mean, I'm doing this. My job is doing videos so that you guys can interact and we can get to know each other. It's everywhere. It's becoming everything. So it was talking about getting more qualified traffic, the high quality traffic that you want for your website, and video and site speed are some of your main things that you want to worry about. Like, they're talking a bunch about in different places on the web that we're going to see a lot more video headers. And I am iffy about that. Video headers are great. They take a lot of bandwidth. They take a lot of site speed. They take a lot of resources that impact your site speed. And so I'm about the video headers because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But if every single site that I visit has a video header, I might just like pull all of my hair out. And so, but adding videos, embedding videos on your site is a great idea to get more traffic because it lives somewhere other than your site, and then it gets you traffic back to your YouTube channel or Vimeo channel, however you do, and then it'll come back and it just kind of circles around. That is absolutely a great thing. Also, optimizing your speed. Please do that. Please run speed tests. Please make sure that you check this stuff out. There's a Google developer tool for it. There is I use website speed test, something like that. I don't remember. It's a yellow site. I Google website speed test and then it comes up. It's great. And the lower you get, the more likely people are going to stay on your site. It's just, you have to do it. We're making improvements to Divi all the time for site speed. What we were talking about earlier with JK, with the minification of CSS and JavaScript, that helps with site speed. I mean, minifying mine on the new site that I did, I mean, I got like 0.2 seconds off of it just by minifying the CSS and JavaScript, which was nuts. Like that was crazy to me. So just keep in mind that there are a lot of different ways to get that quality traffic that don't necessarily involve backlinks and SEO, although those are incredibly, incredibly important. And Isam asked, what size does a video need to be to do a direct video upload? And that depends, Isam, on that's in the YouTube chat, by the way. That depends entirely on your WordPress install and your host. I've had where I can upload. If you're looking through the WordPress dashboard, it's fairly small, but you can change that in the PHP files. I think, is that in functions.php, y'all, that you can change the max upload size? I can't remember. I think it is. It's been a while since I've had to change that. But also, if you need a direct video upload, I honestly suggest using FTP or SFTP if you have access. It is by far, there's not a limit to it. That's the best way to do it because there won't be any kind of upload limit. But if you need to do it through the WordPress dashboard, you'll be limited in size, but you can change whatever the max size is in, like I said, I think it's functions PHP, but I'm not 100% saying that because I've changed it a few times, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. There was, let's see, sorry for dead air there. People were talking about loving video headers. Used royalty-free videos as backgrounds on Divi. That's true. Wish they worked on mobile, but in Europe with good quality fixed mobile broadband, not the USA. Yeah. One of the reasons I think that people are that we're hesitant, I know, and that other people are hesitant to put video on a lot of mobile sites as headers and backgrounds are the not always the oh goodness, the speed and the bandwidth that it'll take in the data, but it's also the machines that a lot of times people are running lower end machines and they wouldn't be able to load the site. So you have to look at UX and the mobile first stuff sometimes as well, which is why I'm kind of against them in that. Any plans to include the SEO best practices like meta descriptions, title, alt tags for images, basically any of the SEO Yoast stuff? Bleh, Yoast. I like Yoast. I don't know. I have not seen the roadmap for that, but I would not expect that anytime soon. I haven't heard anything about it, and mainly because we link directly into the image uploader and things like that, where you can just enter that in from the Divi menu on anything that you can do, like uploads for media. That I would say not yet, but especially because of being able to easily access it through the builder rather than just being straight up integrated in it. Again, I don't know for 100%, but that would be what I saw. Let's see. So that was that article. For those of you who are just joining us, again, I just want to let you know that this is the This Week in WordPress live stream. I'm in the middle of the tutorial section, have already finished up the news, and am going to move into just the general resources soon to be able to, have a good Friday afternoon, hopefully enrich your afternoon just a little bit, and maybe help you out with a project or two if you find something in the description of this video. There are a lot more links that I'm going to be able to go through in the time that we have, so make sure that you check out the description of this video and give these content creators some much appreciated love and linky clicky goodness. So go click some stuff and read. The last one in the tutorials that I wanted to really point out was an article that WP Cube posted. It's called How to Work with the WordPress Database, that it's 11 useful SQL queries. And you guys, read this. Like, it's the last one on the list. It is so important that you know this, because it brings up all of the things that if you're not familiar with PHP and you're not familiar with the hooks that are being used and the queries that you use in the database, this breaks it down. That it shows you all of the core WordPress tables like WP underscore post, WP underscore comments, and comment meta, and users and user meta, which may not mean anything to some people who have never touched that. So that they talk about this and how to look through like WP users, that you can look through them by ID and sort them by email and URL and when they were registered, all of this stuff, where this is super important. Like, these are things that you may not use on a daily basis, that this is some of the stuff that you may never touch. But I'm a really big proponent of just knowing it so that if it comes up one day, you're going to be prepared for it. That I don't know JavaScript, but I know enough to be able to debug whatever comes my way and know how to find a solution on Stack Overflow. I'm the same way with SQL databases, that I know just enough to be dangerous so that whenever I read an article like this, I know what it's talking about and can then go through and learn how to export the data that I need and then look for it and utilize it however it is possible. So check that out at the end of the tutorial section in the description. So just read through it. You may not use it. I mean, this is one of those where bookmark it and come back when you need it. Look through and be like, oh, I didn't know that they kept the record of that in the database tables, that the date registered or emails, so that you can get all the emails of your registered users. But whatever it is, it's something that will come up eventually. And like Isam, mentioned that needs to get info on PHP. These kinds of articles are really good for digging in on learning what the WordPress PHP stuff is. That's how I learned anything about the WordPress core. Was I broke something, read an article like this, and learned exactly what it did. So for those of you who are in the position I was, where all of us start. Look at the one about SQL queries at the very bottom of the tutorials. Like, I really think, excuse me, my throat was about to get scratchy. I really think you'll get some value out of it. One thing that I wanted to talk about before we move into the actual news was, or move into the actual, oh my goodness, I can't find it. Move into the actual resources here. I'm so sorry. I was trying to find the link that talks about what makes a good Divi layout pack. We posted this on the Elegant Themes blog, and I will. I'm so sorry. My goodness. I'm reading comments and things at the same time that came up. So people were adding me. So I'm going to come back to that right there. I have a couple of questions. Any development plans to include 3D flip boxes to the modules, perhaps with a tilt feature? We have animations, Turniversal. I'm not 100% sure if that's what you mean. You might be able to get it to flip by using one of the animations in the design tab. Is that what you need? Have you looked into those for anything? You can adjust those pretty heavily, actually. So you can check that out. So as I was saying that we put in an article this week. Jason, one of our content team, wrote what makes a good Divi layout pack, and I wanted to talk about this because of what you guys were mentioning earlier about selling Divi child themes. That you guys have a lot of talent. You guys have a lot of work out there that you've done and can do, and that you need to be rewarded for, honestly. So Jason put out, what we think makes a good layout pack, because every Monday we give you a new layout pack, whether it is, I know y'all have linked some in the YouTube comments right now, where you guys, we give you every Monday where we give like a coffee shop or a restaurant or a SaaS, a software as a service layout pack, a nonprofits, things like that. We really think that it's important. So if you want to see some of the elements that we end up looking at when we're making them, if you're moving into development and selling themes and child themes rather, and Divi layouts, look at that. It's a good way to see our design team, Kenny and his design team, who are just fantastic at what they think the most important things are, and really, because we are all about elegant design. I mean, we're Elegant Themes after all, right? But we really do have things that we think are the most important, and it's just kind of best practices on things that maybe you want to look at yourself. Don't Stop Go, one of the comments, Don't Stop Go, don't collect $200, go directly to downloading Firefox Developer Edition, Firefox browser. It's so good. It is good. I did an article on that recently. I think it was published today, and it's super awesome. Someone literally, as I said that, commented that it's the fastest browser on the market, and the dev tools help amazingly well to sort out technical problems. Oh my goodness, it does. I love the Firefox Developer Edition. The Firefox Developer Edition development tools. Like, it's crazy. To me, it's head and shoulders above Safari and Chrome, but you should definitely check for it yourself. There is a link, again, in the description of this under resources for the first one that says, can Firefox Developer Edition replace Google Chrome? It's in the resources. It's in the resources. Like I said, where I break down the thing, it's the first one under resources called "Can Firefox Developer Edition Replace Google Chrome?" It's just absolutely a delightful browser. I don't use it as my main driver, nor do I use Firefox Quantum. I ran into more than a couple of issues just in terms of getting it, but you should go check it out for sure. It's made my life and the way that it approaches the grid so much easier. So yeah, that is the first link under resources in the description of this video. I keep moving my mic, trying to make sure y'all don't lose me here. Someone said, wish Elegant Themes would protect the... We are supporting the community, though. Uncle Social, there are a lot of things like Divi theme examples, Elegant Marketplace, things like that. We love the idea, though, that that there is a community around who love us enough to be able to do that. We want to foster the community and build it so that no one seems to feel, no one feels like they're being alienated. And so that's a big part of that. While we are very protective of our brand, I mean, we're going to protect Divi. And I mean, to make sure that it's the best as you guys, we don't want anyone to feel stifled in what they're doing as well. So, we've got their podcasts like Divi.chat, Divi.space, Elegant Marketplace, all of these. But the only place that you will find us officially is the elegantthemes.com/blog or elegantthemes.com and all of that. So I will move forward into the resources because we only have a few minutes left. And this goes into what someone else was talking about a little bit earlier about minifying CSS. That I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm just going to say read this. The third one down is on under resources. It's called Ask Yoast. Do we still minifies and concatenate CSS and JavaScript files? So that one's fun to read. And then one that I really wanted to dig into that I think is important that I wanted to let you guys know that's crazy, that I get asked this all the time. I know you guys do. On what's the difference between domain name registration and web hosting registration? That I get this all the time. That I have people say, oh yeah, I need you to handle this for me. And then they go and it just turns out they need me to register a domain name. Like I need a host. And that's not a host. The difference, I mean, a lot of us know that, but a lot of your clients may not. So that you can go and actually explain it to them what domains are, what web hosts actually do, and how they work together. WP Beginner breaks it down. They always break everything down so wonderfully well. I mean, they have a what is web hosting section, how they're related, what you need to build a website. Divi. And so they really do. Can you buy them together? Can you buy them separately? Can you move your domain? They really go through all of this stuff that your clients are going to want to know and that they're going to ask you. So in order to save time, instead of you having to explain to them, send them this link that's in the resources section in the description down here that's called What's the Difference Between Domain Name and Web Hosting. It's super good, you guys. This is one that I'm going to be sending people. And that's really what I do under this resource section is anything that I think that you guys would share on Twitter. Anything that whenever something comes up, only thing that comes up is I send it to them. I keep these things. I keep a list of every link that I've shared for this week in WordPress, and I cannot count the number of times like, oh yeah, I needed to know that, and I will go and Control F through my my planner document in Google Drive. I mean, and the resources section is 90% of where I find those. I mean, the resources section that those are my shareable ones. Javier said, love Divi, only wish I could be able to preview the layouts in real time. Have you used the visual builder, Javier? We've worked on making it much faster and much better over the last little while, that a lot of people are hesitant to use it, but they haven't yet. That if you try the visual builder again, we also have, or if you haven't at all, try it. It's live, previewing the layouts in real time, as well as having a wireframe mode in the lower left corner. If you click it, it will look just like the legacy builder with all the different blocks in it where you don't have to hover, and then you can move it out. Check that out if you're looking for real time. Also, under the customizer now, when you just go up to the top of your admin bar and you drop down to where it says theme customizer or customized theme, that one should be a real-time one now as well. At least it was for me when I've been tweaking it earlier this week. People are discussing, so that's all good. I would so you're all talking amongst yourselves. move back into my resources down here. Another one that I thought was great that I wanted to just point out is scaling a website when traffic soars. WPMU Dev has this. It's great. Read it. It might only be a temporary surge, but steadily increasing your traffic. Sometimes your host isn't going to be able to change that. Isn't going to be able to handle it. So you really need this list to figure out how, whether you get the Reddit bump, whether it sometimes your host will just shut down. So it's talking about doing your research and knowing what to ask for so you can check it out. And then the very last thing, it's the last one under resources, and I wanted to point this out, you guys, that I think it is. This one is the most. It's a Hero Press article that it hit really close to home for me because it said WordPress allowed me to have my dream job, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I mean, I get to write and podcast and live stream. I call this podcasting, live stream with you guys, and it's because of WordPress that the community does this, that there's such a wonderful community who will tune in, who will watch this, who wants to get to know each other, that it's great. And this is this gentleman's story about getting it done, where he was trying to be a programmer and it wasn't for him. He got turned off of programming by C++, which is the same thing that I did. I mean, it was it really hit close to my own kind of ideas and feelings about getting into to this world. So you guys are probably in close to the same boat, being able to make a living. If you're watching a This Week in WordPress stream, then you're probably making your living on WordPress and have a job that deals with it. So you guys probably have something to commiserate with Igor here, the author of this article. I know that I do. It's fantastic. So you guys are fantastic. So I think that you guys would get a lot out of it. Y'all are awesome. Like, I've been looking here. That's why I've gotten distracted. You guys are having an absolutely fantastic conversation in the comments on the YouTube page. I haven't seen as many in the on the Facebook page. We've had a few, but like, you guys are awesome. Like, I cannot thank you enough for making the comment section on this just delightful and happy that it's interesting enough that it distracts me from talking, and you guys can tell that I can talk a lot. So I really want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you tune back in on every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm here doing this, talking to you guys. And you guys, I just want to point out that since the YouTube comments do go away after a bit, these don't transfer over to the video that's saved. J.K. Dove did say that finding Divi changed his life, or her life. I'm sorry, I can't see your picture. Changed their life straight up, and that makes me happy. And it just warms my heart. On that, I will see you guys next week. Remember that our next live stream is at 6 a.m. on Monday morning with Augustine Mack, going through the new Divi feature updates. So as much as you guys love Divi, wake up early, tune in to Mac, and let's just have some Divi fun. So you guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic new year, and I will see you next week. Yep, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. That's where I am. And and I will see you then. I will respond to, yes, I have a Kylo Ren. There's also, you can't see the BB-9E, Darth Vader, and Yoda beside him as well because of this little thing right here. But I'm a nerd. All right, you guys, have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys later.